Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by 2 South Sound Art here on LSRTV. We're here for the round of 10. It's race number 3 of 4 for this round here at Las Vegas, and the pressure is now building as we're halfway through this round of 10. We're seeing the drivers that are looking pretty solidified points-wise that they're going to be making it into the next round, such as Holden McGill, Merrick Watchorn. They're pretty much are almost a lock into the next round with another couple of solid runs here tonight and next week, as we are now went from our short track racing of Rockingham, Bristol. It's now for our mile-and-a-half section. First up, it's here in Las Vegas, and these drivers, they're slipping and sliding. They're trying to find out exactly where the speed's at for these guys here tonight. But it is going to be a fun race for us. As always, that's me, Sam Dyer, up in the booth. But the revolving chair now brings us with Chris White going to be joining me. And also in the production chair, going to be that of Carlos Acosta, who always is bringing out the best in all the graphics. Chris, thanks for joining me up here tonight. We're here at Las Vegas. What are some things that you're expecting us to see here tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm very appreciative for the opportunity to come up in the booth and join you guys. It should be a fun night. Las Vegas is a fantastic track for me personally. It's a lot of excitement, You got different lanes in this track, some bumps in the corners, some obstacles to get through. I think we're going to see some tire wear, some massive tire wear, and we're going to see who can run that tire wear properly and be the one to outdo the others. But I'm looking for some excitement tonight. It's going to be exciting.
Going to be a fun one for sure, as points wise it's all about focusing on those 10 drivers, as we've got that of Holden McGill, Merrick Watchorn, Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, JJ, otherwise known as Joseph, with Garrett, with that of Grant Person, as well as Logan Hamilton being your top 6, and those drivers looking pretty comfortable for themselves, but just lingering behind as that of Jeremy Berger, Colin Stone, that of Sean Deal, and Stefan Purcell. Those 4 drivers need to be starting to hit their marks here, especially for Purcell. He's going to be finding himself over 28 points out from the good. And with how small of a field we're going to be having here tonight, he's got to make sure he finds himself getting good stage points as well as a great finish for us here tonight of racing at Las Vegas. It's going to be a fun one, just like Chris said, exciting for us. But before we get to any more action, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, qualifying is going to be here for us. We'll be right back in a second.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art here on LSRTV. Qualifying's about to get underway here at Las Vegas. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Chris White, Carlos Costa in the production chair. Chris, we're getting ready for qualifying here. What are some of the things the drivers need to focus on as they're about to hit the track?
They certainly got to just pay attention to the line that they're driving, stay focused, hit their marks, try not to get loose, because getting loose, you lose valuable time, tenths of seconds. Just hit your marks, get around this track, turn a couple solid laps here, and hopefully you can start towards the front. That's where you want to start.
Track position, as always, seems to be a key. We saw it a lot these last 2 weeks at Rockingham and Bristol, which Bristol can be a shocker of a race last week. Not a lot of cautions coming out, but the winner was Holden McGill, who was continuously showing off that he's one of the drivers that everyone has to figure out how to beat. And the driver that's trying his best is Merrick Watchhorn, as we're on board with the 52. This is Grant Peterson, who's going to be trying to put down the best time possible for himself. Grant's going to be coming in with himself being in 5th place in points. Total of 5 top 5s for this team and 13 top 10s and 2 wins for the 52 team. Currently 5th in points with a nice 10-point buffer between himself and being knocked out of the points. Chris, playoffs, it's a lot of stress for these drivers. With it only being a race here tonight and next week when we go to Homestead, do you feel like 10 points would be enough for a driver to feel comfortable with 2 races left in this round?
I would say absolutely not. 10 points, I don't believe, would ever be a good buffer. You just got to hit your marks and try to put up the best finishes you can. Top 3 is good. Stay out of the wall, stay out of other cars. Be patient. Don't push it. Don't try to overdrive it. Don't try to overdo it. Stuff like that gets you in trouble. That can knock you out of the race and most certainly can knock you out of the playoffs.
Another driver we see on screen who's just coming to a close on his time, Sean Deal, currently 6th on the board. One of those drivers that's outside of the top 6. Again, there is no win and you're in system here for these drivers. It's all about being consistent for the 4 races in each round. Went from 16 down to 10. And in this round of 10, it's been a shocker to see some of the drivers that have been struggling. One of the drivers that's outside, 2 of the drivers that are outside, that of Jeremy Berger and Colin Stone, both drivers that have been very consistent during their first round of the playoffs. And since we've gotten to the round of 10, it's been a lot of struggles for them, but still within striking distance for both of those drivers. As we're watching on board, as the drivers just having some fun. Ryder Schrauf trying to find his pit box of coming down pit lane, and saw a lot of drivers, Chris, practicing coming into pit road during practice. How tough is it coming down into pit lane under green flag situation?
Under green flag, it can be tricky. I can tell you from my own experience. Speaking of Chicagoland, kind of lost the championship. I feel entering pit road. I just overshot the pits and tried to correct myself and lost it. Spun out on pit road, and I think that's what lost the championship for me. So you really got to gauge your marks. Know where that entrance is. Know where that cone is, and make sure you're slowing down. Brake bias can be a huge thing when it comes to this. If you don't have that brake bias set correctly, you can hit those brakes and it just spins around. So it's definitely a challenging thing under green flag conditions, most certainly.
Green flags, pit stops, something we're expecting to see as drivers. We've saw at a couple of these 1.5 mile tracks with the way that the fuel percentage is, drivers are most likely going to have to come into pit road around lap 30 to 31 unless we see caution flags wave, which each stage we're seeing here tonight, Chris, going to be 40 laps. Not a lot of worry on. They're going to have to make that green flag pit stop if they're going to be coming in, and looking how the driver's going to be attacking for themselves. Interesting how they're going to be going into these stages with the mindset of we have to make a pit stop around lap 30.
Yeah, and the thing with stage racing, it's new for the Northwest Cup Series too. We've been doing some stage racing, and it's been interesting. And the strategy is different. You know, you can run hard, you can run in the back, you can take your time, just be patient in the early stages if you want, and then wait for that final stage to just give it all and go to the front and see what you can do. But it's strategy. A lot of strategy comes into place. Do you want to pit before the stage ends and get tires so that you set yourself up front when the stage 2 starts? Do you want to not pit? Do you want to stay out there and get the points, you know, and then come in while under caution? A lot of strategy involved.
As qualifying comes to a close, we're going to take a look at our starting grid as drivers getting lined up, ready to go for themselves. On the front row, going to be Logan Hamilton taking the front row with that of Joseph to his outside, with that of Frank Flores to the row 2, with that of Nate Brooker to his outside. Row 3, going to be find that of Richard Springer, as well as Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the 1, going to be in 6th position, falling back to 7th. Merrick Watchhorn, that of Barrick Uphold, Grant Peterson, as well as that of Cal Green, going to be back in row 5 and 9th and 10th. Row number 6 is going to be finding Sean Deal with Brian Huntley Jr. Holden McGill, one of our favorites almost every single race we go to, going to be back in 13th position. 14th, going to be a late driver that showed up late, missed practice, but came up for qualifying. Emerson Arden in 14th place for the 51. Jeremy Berger going to be in 15th place. In 16th, we find that of Colin Stone in the 43. Stephen Purcell, last in our top 10 in points, needs to have a top 5 finish here tonight if he still wants a shot to make it into the next round, championship round of the playoffs. And we got Robert Patton Gale with Ryder Strouth. And finishing out our 20 drivers here tonight is going to be that of Kevin Franks. Chris, we got 20 drivers lined up, 134 laps. It looks like we're going to be going from a day to night transition. Drivers, we usually think of Las Vegas in the heat, but this track doesn't seem to be very hot here tonight, with it track temp only being 69 degrees.
Yeah, a little bit cooler temps. It shouldn't be too bad. We should see some fair tire wear here. Good grip, solid grip. We'll see how it goes in the early going as these guys get ready to take the green flag. Looks like we got Holden McGill. I'm not sure if he got enough practice in, but starting back there in 13th, our point leader here with 4 wins on the season, I'm sure he's going to be one of the favorites still. I'm sure we'll see him up there in the front in that 21 car, looking to get his 5th win of the season.
Yeah, a couple of these drivers going to be trying to get themselves, we've seen a couple of our favorites. So we've seen Joseph, Merrick Watchhorn. They've both fallen back and started further back in the field, and it took them all race. And finally, in that last stage, they were up front in our top 5. As the drivers are single filed out, this is a procedure that was just added in during the playoffs for the drivers to know exactly where their pit stops are. They're all going to come into pit road single file, figure out where their box is, and then we'll stack up and get to go green once again. This is one of the procedures that's kind of helped these drivers hope that they can make sure they don't mess up their pit box coming in the first or second time, missing where their box is at. Chris, coming into pit road, missing your box, it's a mental error, but it's a lot more common than most people think.
It certainly is, but it's good to have that box out there that Logan Hamilton's got, the number 1 box. It's hard to miss that one because you know exactly where it is and you can prep yourself for it. But I use something called sim racing apps, and it certainly helps. And I'm sure some of these drivers may be using that as well. And it kind of helps you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there's your box. So it's a little bit of a help there.
Yeah, all the different apps that you can find while racing virtually to help you have a better sense of where your box is. Also, spotter apps that you can find. Those are so helpful as well. So you can know exactly where drivers are at as we're stacking back up. Chris, as we're getting ready to go green, what are you most excited to see here tonight?
Well, I'm new to this league, so I really don't know a lot of these drivers. I know one name that stands out is Taylor Butcher Benjamin, a pretty solid driver. I've seen that name around before. I think I've even raced in some races maybe with him. But the rest of these guys, these are new names for me, so we'll have to wait and see.
We got 134 laps to get used to the names, see where they're going to lie as pace car getting ready to pull off. Green flag getting prepared as waiting for the green. As you see Barney the flag man up, waiting to wave. As green flag out in the air, drivers getting going. It's Logan Hamilton, Joseph immediately getting in line. Everyone's playing themselves pretty patient. You have to fall pretty far back to around 7th and 8th place where they were thinking about going side by side.
Yeah, as the field works on green flag through turns 1 and 2, looks like everything's pretty smooth. Everybody's holding their own, giving some room. We've got some 2-ride action going into turn 3. Pretty solid start there. What do you think?
It's looking pretty great so far. If you want to know who the playoff drivers are, you can tell by the green spoilers. Also banners that some of the playoff drivers are rocking for themselves. Most of the field playoff drivers got to be careful as it's going to be Merrick Watchorn getting a slight block from that of Frank Flores in the 23. And a little bit of contact going to be made as it's going to be once again Merrick Watchorn 2 weeks in a row. Just cannot keep that nose clean. A little bit of contact with the 23. We stay green though. All in line. It just gets everyone else scattered for a quick second. As, whoo, almost got everyone in trouble there early on.
That was a close one. That was an excellent save to keep it green. We certainly like to see green flags. You know, cautions are kind of inevitable. They happen, but it's good to see green flag racing, and nice save there.
These things look like netcode could have been a factor with that incident as Merrick Watchorn tried his best, but that's going to be the one ducking and diving to the inside. It's going to be Taylor Butcher Benjamin side by side with Merrick Watchorn back for 7th place. For the field, they're going to be staying grouped up. I mean, Chris, this seems to be what Las Vegas gives us, a little mini super speedway racing with how everyone stays in a pack with how powerful the draft is.
Yeah, I think these guys are just being patient now. Nobody wants to get wrecked early, so they got to figure out the line that's going to work best for them, figure out their groove, and see what they got. We got some nice little battles going on here, but looks like everybody's sorting it out for themselves.
To the lead, it's going to be Chris. It's going to be that of Richard Springer coming to the inside. Logan Hamilton not wanting to give up the lead just yet, and to the outside, going to be Nate Brooker. Brooker's already won during this playoffs, but it was during the first round of the playoffs at Talladega. We'll see if the 3 can find his way back up front as he's stuck to the outside, but it's the 6, Springer. He's coming on the outside. We're going to see a quick replay of an incident that was going on, exactly what happened in our first wreck. That did not bring out a yellow, but a great save from the 23. You'll see on the outside, but already on our bottom screen, Springer gets out of trouble. As already everyone's staying centered, they're 3 wide, battling for the lead. As that top screen was a replay of what happened to Flores. But they're 3 wide, battling for 4th place, and they are still not giving an inch. As it's going to be that of Jeremy Berger to the inside, trying to hold strong, but up front, it's going to be Grant Peterson up front in 2nd. With Kyle Green, Nate Brooker, that of Joseph, Merrick Watchorn, and Joseph continue to stay side by side with that of Bertram Benjamin and Berger. They're going to stay side by side. Whew, it's pack racing. It is dangerous with some of the moves these drivers are making.
Certainly, and your race leader right now, Logan Hamilton, is finding his way out front. Close pursuit, Grant Peterson right there. Looking to the inside, going into turn 3, follows closely behind. We got, who is this? Kyle Green. Kyle Green up there in 3rd. Looked into the inside of the 52 with the 3 car and the 91 car right there, your top 5.
Kyle Green, we haven't really seen the 76 racing in the playoffs so far. He's making his playoff showing. Not a non-playoff driver. Same with Nate Brooker. Just out here, race, fill the field, and get some pride. Say, hey, we can win. If we were in the playoffs, we probably could be showing up with you guys. As up front, still Logan Hamilton. And for Logan Hamilton, for the 12, he was the fastest during practice, got the pole position. This 12's looking for the sweep, if possible. Again, the drivers for stage 1 comes to a close at the end of lap 40. So the drivers still have quite a bit to go as we're about a quarter of the way through stage 1.
Yes, we are. And that 76 car, Kyle Green, actually just moved his way up in 2nd place. He's looking at Logan Hamilton there to take the lead. As we go into turn 3, and the 52 is looking to the outside. Here comes that 91 and that 3. Side by side, 91 and the 52.
It's looking good right now. Merrick Watchorn in the 91, able to make the pass for 3rd place. Going to get a little bit shuffled, though, with Sean Deal, who decided to tap the grass. Not where you really want to put your car. especially because these tires do not react well after touching dirt or grass. You get yourself sideways very quickly, but luckily holds on for the 44 back in 8th position. But side by side for second, Merrick Watchorn, driver that has been hunting and hounding for a win these last couple of weeks. Thought he was going to get the win back at Rockingham with one of the most dominant cars there, but just couldn't get it done. Also thought maybe we'd win at Twin Ring at the end of the first round of the playoffs. And last week just kept on getting that nose crinkled in. Didn't have full power to really challenge for the win at Bristol. And here tonight, Merrick Watchorn, 3rd place, challenging for 2nd. But watching these drivers early on, Chris, we're seeing the drivers, how aggressive they're being early. But when are we going to be seeing some of those drivers that are being a little bit too aggressive? And do you think we're going to be seeing some of them dropping off because of the tire drop-off?
It's quite possible. I was kind of sitting back here in the back a little bit, the 6 car and the 20 car. These guys, the 6 was up front here recently. Richard Springer there, now back in 10th place. So I'm wondering if that tire fall off is starting to take effect with that car. He's back there battling the 20 of Joseph, who I believe started towards the front and is now back there in the 9th position.
As we're running on board with the 52 on your bottom screen, that of Grant Peterson is just trying to cruise along, wait where he wants to place himself. As the great graphics from Carlos Acosta. Great job. I know he was working on this, trying to get this all ready for tonight. It is looking fabulous to see all the new telemetry, giving you, the audience, the best abilities to see and understand what's going on track. As the 52 currently running in 6th place, trying to figure out how to get by Taylor Butcher Benjamin, as well as that of Merrick Watchorn. Top 3, still Logan Hamilton, Kyle Green, Nate Brooker. Watchorn gets himself a little bit too close to that outside wall, losing ground, falling back. We're seeing a lot of drivers willing to pinch, be aggressive. We've already seen that with Merrick Watchorn and also the 23 of Frank Flores making contact with being too close to one another. Got to be patient on how well you want to be attacking one another as we're inching closer and closer, about halfway until we're thinking about pit stops happening. And Chris, we've seen throughout most of the mile-and-a-half races and a lot of these stage breaks, if you have to come to pit road, the decision of coming in and taking tires to get those stage points or just go for fuel so you still have an extra set later on. I'm interested to see how the driver's going to be picking and choosing on who wants those stage points, especially for the drivers that are further down in the point standings, like that of a Stephen Purcell, John Zeal, Colin Stoner, Jeremy Berger. Jeremy Berger, back at Rockingham, actually stole himself a great finish after going with a lot of tire strategy calls. If you were put in this situation where you're kind of further back in points, would you think about possibly taking some tires on this stop expecting to see around lap 30? As the drivers continue to race around, Merrick Watchorn battling side by side by Nate Brooker, and still hard racing for our top 5. Is right behind as we talk about that though. Wreck in the back gonna be happening is gonna be Brian Huntley, as well as Pattengale and Arden, all involved. 3 drivers that were battling further back in the field just got too close to one another coming out of turn number 4, as we'll see here on this replay. Just coming out of 4, Arden as well as Huntley making contact. And poor Pattengale going to be innocently involved in that one. But luckily, drivers do have a fast repair for the heavy damage that went to the 19 and the 51. Here's another view of the incident. Just looked like 2 drivers too close, and a little bit of contact being made by the 2 of them as they came out of 4.
Yeah, some hard hits there with the 51 and the 19. Unfortunately for the 33, getting caught up in that as well. They're going to have to hit pit road, see what kind of damage they got, but it's likely going to be needing to use the fast repair, at least for the 51, possibly the 19. Back when you asked about tires, I must have hit the wrong button there, so he must not have heard me. But tires are important. Tires, I believe they're all going to come and get tires before the stage ends. As long as you space out these pit stops, you space out your tires, you should be good at the end to have a set left over.
You see Pattengale's on board, and after that replay, drivers coming into pit road, and Expecting a lot of them to take just fuel only here, but it's the select few that might think about taking tires, and I'm interested to see as the drivers, when they were running times, I mean, they were about a second off of what they were running their best times, so there is going to be a major difference of tire wear if we see any drivers going for 4 sets as everyone comes in their pit boxes. Goals not to slide through their box and make any mistakes of losing time. As everyone comes in, we're waiting to watch and see. A lot of drivers coming in with just fuel only, keeping on track of who's going to be taking any tires. Looks like a tire taker might be Jeremy Berger of the first of those with just 2 tires for the 97. Those that are taking 4 is going to be the 6 of that of Richard Springer. For everyone else, looking like they just went with fuel only. I think maybe I'm gonna have to take a look back, but I think maybe even the 52 went with a 2-tire strategy, same as Berger.
Those guys taking 2 tires, it's a little rough. They're playing some strategy to get some track position there. That's pretty much the only idea there, to take 2 tires, is to get some track position, get up there. That kind of straps you for tires later on in the race if you need them, because the left side tires don't usually work as well as right side tires. So we'll see. These guys up front are running strong. They're probably feeling that they can have a stronger run here going towards the end of stage 1 with no tires and just fuel only. So we'll see. We've got the 12 out front, followed by the 76 and the 91. The 1 and the 3, your top 5.
Looking at the drivers that went with 2 tires, rewatched that of Peterson's call for the 52. He actually went too far in his pit box, had to back up. That's why he had extra time on his pit stop. For that of Jeremy Berger, he did go with only 2 tires. Springer went with a 4, as the rest of the field just went with fuel only for themselves, trying to make sure they still have that extra set later on in the race. So we're 1 to go. Logan Hamilton's just been your driver up front. Everyone else behind him has been swapping back and forth on where they really want to lie. The only driver that is really challenged the 12 was the 6. But then he got bumped around, tossed around as we were watching a replay of our first incident of that of Merrick Watchorn and Frank Flores. But a lot of drivers picking and choosing the strategies early on. I think this 21 is going to be the driver to watch out, as he's the 21 on screen, the 6 on our telemetry, that of Richard Springer. So we'll wait and see how well he's going to cut his way through, as well as Jeremy Berger, because just 2 tires, I think it's still going to be pretty quick. As we are getting set and ready to go, drivers up front, top 5 going to be that of Logan Hamilton, that of Kyle Green, Merrick Watchorn, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Nate Brooker. Playoff implications can certainly be seen here tonight. 10 drivers in the playoff left here. Top 6 get to move on to the round of 6, the Challenge 4 Championship. Pace car is off, green flag in the air. Logan Hamilton, great launch once again, and Kyle Green did not get the launch that he really needed for himself, as everyone else drops low. 76, he's going to have to battle strong as Merrick Watchorn to the inside, making the pass, and here comes Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the 1.
Yes, followed by the 20 of Joseph there and the 3 of Brooker. They're side by side going down the backstretch. We've got Hamilton out front still. Dominant run going for him. Sam, I'm wondering on that pit stop. One thing that bites me a little bit is unchecking the fast repair box. If you've scraped the wall just slightly and you don't uncheck that, it's going to burn that. So I wonder how many of these guys may have burnt their fast repair when they didn't need to.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the first things you try not to do, with still 3 wide action. Finally going to clear up, as that was Nate Brooker, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. They were just stuck on the outside of the 1 being stuck in the middle. Peterson's thinking about stucking it low, possibly for 3 wide action once again, as they're 3 wide for 3rd place. It's going to be that of Joseph Green, as well as Berger, still 3 wide for 3rd place. And the 97's doing his best with just 2 tires to try to make the move now. It just isn't working, and when you're staying that low, staying so compact with one another, one slip up from either driver that's involved here could be costly for the field. As they're finally getting cleaned up, Jeremy Berger up to 3rd place, going to be challenging for 2nd position. They're side by side from 4th on back, still trying to pick and choose where they want to place themselves. Chris, it is chaotic right now as drivers try to figure out how to cut their way through this pack.
It is certainly chaotic, but it's also exciting, this track, Las Vegas. It provides some good racing action, some different lines, different grooves. You see these guys using all grooves available, low, middle, and high, to get around this track. You got Hamilton out front, but you got that 97 car coming up on the outside being pushed by the 91. And so we might have a change of lead here shortly.
New tires. Thought it was a questionable call for that of Jeremy Berger on the long run at the end of the race, but certainly if this race stays green for stage 1, again, stage 1 comes to a close at the end of lap 40, Jeremy Berger, this is massive stage points. Again, our top 10, they get stage points. Our winner will get 10 points, and it drops by 1 each position until you get to number 10, where they'll get 1 bonus point for the stage. Stage 1 and 2, massive on how well you can be gaining points on the competitors around you. Even if you have a great points day for stage 1 and 2, and you have a bad finish at the race, it can kind of equal out and potentially look like you won the race with the amount of points that you can gain for yourself if you win stage 1 and 2 and finish around 15th place.
Certainly, and you got these guys up front, Berger there, and the 91 Watchhorn. They're sitting there in the playoff running there. You got Berger in 7th, Watchhorn is 2nd. So they're trying to eye these points. They're trying to get these points, and that's what they're out there doing. Good job with it. And but the tires, you go back to tires. They put tires on to get up there now. So what is it going to play? What's their game plan later in this race when they're going to need tires and they don't have them?
Yeah, we kind of saw a similar strategy thrown by Jeremy Berger a couple of weeks back of him doing that at Rockingham, of trying to stay out and get as many bonus points as possible during the stages. And then we had a late caution where he did not have an extra set of tires while the rest of the field did, and actually put the 97 with him having to stay out, and a lot of the field had to take a green flag pit stop. They were actually trapped a lap down because the 97 could not pit. Kyle Green going to be getting himself a little bit shuffled up back to 8th position. Just staying low, trying to not cause any more calamity, as he was one of the drivers battling in their top 3. Slowly has been falling back is the 76, and now under the clutches of kind of the hornet's nest of drivers side by side. You got Colin Stone, that of Derek Uphold. They're on top of one another for 10th position, and that 10th place, there's going to be a lot of fighting on who wants to be there, because currently of the drivers that are in the playoffs outside of that position, I mean, looking at that of Stefan Purcell as well as Sean Deal, they need to get into the top 10, get those bonus points, as the rest of their competitors are already in the top 10 trying to finish out this stage with confidence.
Certainly with Deal sitting 13th right now and Purcell 17th, they got some work to do with just over 10 laps to go before the stage ends. If they want those points, they got to start hustling. But, you know, when you start pushing it, that's when you can make mistakes. And you certainly don't want mistakes.
Colin Stone coming into last week was actually 10th in points. And after a pretty decent showing of finishing in 5th place back at Bristol, his 46 team able to move up 2 positions, up to 8th in points, but still a lot of work, as he is currently going to be coming in 14 points out of making the top 6. Yeah, our top 6, they get to be in the championship round, and they get to be battling this out in the championship round of 3 races. If who will be the most consistent during those rounds, they'll win the championship. So there is no one race, and race for the championship. You have one race, good luck. You got 3 races where drivers will challenge to see how well they can do, as this line of drivers being led by Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 5th position. It's just side by side, about 6 rows deep it seems, and drivers certainly doing their best. And up here in 6th position, it's Holden McGill, one of the drivers we touched it on that didn't have the best qualified 13th. He's now up to 7th and trying to challenge for 6th.
Yeah, he's certainly doing what he's got to do to work his way forward. Like you said, he's sitting there in 7th, keeping it a solid run there. We got a huge pack of cars. This is getting a little tight, and it's going to get a little dicey. We got just a few more laps here before stage 1 completes, and then when the stage completes, we'll certainly see strategy come into effect again, as some of these guys are going to hit pit road and reset themselves for stage 2.
Stage 2, we saw last week where stage 1 was pretty green at Bristol, and then a lot of drivers got aggressive, a lot of cautions coming out. But that short track racing here at the mile and a half, drivers have already seen kind of get a little bit touchy early in stage 1 at the start of the race. Wouldn't be surprised if once again we restart for stage 2. Drivers get a little bit too antsy, get a little too aggressive, and start bouncing off one another. Still close racing going on, as side by side it's going to be that of Grant Peterson and Uphold that are side by side. You see Uphold in that blue and red 92 on the inside, trying to hold off that of the Flamin' 52 on his out.
Yeah, I think the 97 of Berger is set sail here. Looks like he's going to wrap up stage one. As long as he can hold his own, he's out by about a second over Watchorn, and you got Hamilton there sitting in third still, about a second and a half behind the lead. Joseph about a second and a half. And Butcher Benjamin rounds out the top five as stage one comes to a close here shortly.
And it's going to be the end of lap 40 is when stage one comes to a close. And we saw for a second there the three of Nate Brooker, excuse me. I am struggling. Brooker being sent back for the three, and he's being sent all the way back to third position. I mean, back to 13th position for the three. One of those drivers that was up front, he's now falling back with Kyle Green. Some of the drivers we saw battling, trying to put on their best effort early on, and really going nowhere here late in this stage. Seeing that tire wear just making them fall back ever so slowly.
Yes, tire wear is coming into effect. You can see Hamilton's tires are falling off drastically as he was just overtaken by the 20 of Joseph. But he's going to hopefully, without any mistakes, he'll finish in the top five and still gain some points. Tire fall off is big. Las Vegas eats tires, so we're seeing it.
It's coming across the line. 4 laps to go for these drivers here in stage number one. Up front, it is Jeremy Berger, there is Merrick Watchorn going to be in second, Joseph in third, fourth going to be Logan Hamilton, fifth going to be Holden McGill, and then the battle that's going on for fifth place, that's when drivers zoom back for sixth place. You've got Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Grant Peterson, as well as Colin Stone, drivers that are heavily in the middle of the playoffs, trying to get the best points they can. But up front, just doing well. Joseph, Merrick Watchorn, and Logan Hamilton, they're kind of in cruise control for themselves, feeling comfortable for our top 4 as we continue to tick these laps away.
Eel in the 44, Purcell in the 57. With the laps winding down to stage one, it does not look like they're going to get up there and get some stage points. That's going to hurt them. That's your 9th and 10th place points positions right there. Unfortunately, they're going to have to regroup and see what they can do in stage 2 to try to get up there and get some points. Again, it's probably tires falling off. Berger out front. Looks like he's going to seal up stage 1.
Jeremy Berger doing a great job for himself, just taking those 2 tires under our one and only yellow flag so far, around lap 18. And it was a great call for the 97 to do so, to come in, take 2 tires for himself as he's coming out for turn number 4. White flag in the air for this stage. Stage 1 about to come to a close, and the stage will come to a close, I believe, once that driver in 10th place comes across the line. Jeremy Berger doing a great job for himself, continuing to stay up front, but just keeping our eyes on our leader currently as we're waiting for him to come across the line. But behind him, still a bunch of drivers just in a melee to make sure they could be in the top 10, as Arden going to be sent to the inside. Emerson Arden already heavily damaged for the 51 as Jeremy Berger comes across the line to win stage number 1.
Looks like these guys are going to keep it clean, keep it straight on the track, and we're going to get this first stage closed out good as the caution comes out and stage 1 has concluded. Berger, 97, your stage 1 winner.
And drivers that are in the playoffs did not get any bonus points there. Stefan Purcell, as well as Sean Deal, the rest of the 8 other drivers able to be inside of the top 10. Very important for those guys that are inside of the playoffs, get as many bonus points as possible. As we're going to be taking a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll take a look at where the driver is going to be lying, as we're seeing a replay of the incident happened to that of Arden. But man, could have been a big wreck there with 3 laps to go in stage 1. But again, we'll be right back. And when we come back, the drivers will be set up and ready to take the green for stage number 2.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing SoundArt, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With SoundArt, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. SoundArt is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers. For licensors and other businesses, we are capable of producing thousands of units per day.
We're using the highest quality materials to give you the best product available in the market. Everywhere you look, there's always art. What I like so much about SoundArt, that you could just pair it and play.
Ansia, your art never sounded so good.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson SoundArt. Thank you to Tucson SoundArt for the commercial. We're going to have a quick interview with Jeremy Berger. Jeremy, you won stage one. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, it was pretty good run there, obviously. I had a 2.1 second gap, I'm pretty sure, as the time of me getting the stage win. Thanks to my teammate Kyle Green giving me the advice on two tires really working here, and I was like, you know what, might as well go for it. So ended up working in my favor.
It certainly did work out for yourself. A little bit of a pit road mishap. We'll take a sorry on that for pulling you up while pit stops was going on. But how are you feeling about cutting your way through traffic starting back in 10th?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to do good here and not getting any wrecks.
All right. Well, Jeremy Berger's got a race to get going to, as we'll send him back down to his booth. But we are getting ready to go green. Chris, Jeremy Berger, a little bit of a mishap on pit road. He's going to be back in 10th place. It's going to be Joseph, Merrick Watchhorn, Logan Hamilton, Holden McGill, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, your top five, as green flag back into the air. It's JJ up front for the 20. Doing a great job for himself. Great restart. Getting our front two in line. Side by side, though, for third place as they go into turn one.
Yes, Joseph leads him into turn one. Watchhorn following closely behind with Hamilton, McGill, Butcher Benjamin. I think Berger there in the 97, a little mishap. He'll put that behind him. He got plenty of racing left in this race to go. He'll work his way back up front. He's got a solid Chevy there. And he's running for points, so he's sitting 7th in points, so he knows he's got to be patient. And also, he knows he's got to get a solid finish.
Yeah, and he already got the 10 bonus points from winning stage one. Massive to be gained for himself as drivers slicing and dicing. Merrick Watchhorn trying to make the outside line work, and it's going to work for himself. And we touched on the fact that Holden McGill had not the best qualifying run for himself. Well, he's already up to second following the 91. There goes the 21 up to second place. And here comes the 12, Logan Hamilton. They're just making that outside line work as it's just Joseph falling back from the lead, back to 5th place, soon to be back to 6th.
Yeah, these guys are really dicing it up here. This is exciting racing. Stage green. Butcher Benjamin sitting 4th right there, taking off turn 2. Hamilton in 3rd, looking to the inside as they're coming to turn 3. And McGill, we talked about McGill starting a little bit further back. He is now up to the 2nd position. He's outside Hamilton right now as they chase the 91 of Watchhorn.
Watchhorn doing his best. Got to watch out for Hamilton as well as McGill side by side for 2nd place. I do want to give note that of Grant Peterson did have a disconnect under stage 1 caution, putting himself 4 laps down. He got back into the session. He's on track, but for the 52, it's going to be a long trek to put himself back on the lead lap. Going to need a couple of cautions to assist him to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's unfortunate when that happens. It happens to many of us in the iRacing world. That, along with netcode issues and things like that, things just happen, and it's unfortunate. He's sitting 5th in points right now. As long as he can keep his mind focused and just try to get the best finish he can get and take it for what it's worth, he should be doing just fine.
The goal is keep it smooth. Battle for second place, though. A little bit of contact I've been seeing from Hamilton and Holt McGill. Just a simple bump here or there, and moving back from 10th, now trying to force it 3 wide for 4th place. It's going to be Jeremy Berger, the 97, and also following with him, it's going to be the 6. It's Springer. Both of these drivers showed themselves, with Springer being caught up in a little bit of an incident on lap 10 that put him from the lead back to around 15th place. Jeremy Berger had a slip up during our stage 1 pit stop, but finds himself now up to 6th position. Great recoveries we've already seen from these drivers.
Yes, certainly. Berger in the 97, he's just patiently right there behind Richard Benjamin, and he's looking for an opportunity to get around so he can start moving out to battle for the lead, but just being patient. This is a nice little pack here battling for the lead. Any one of these guys, these are some solid cars.
No!
Oh!
Holden McGill, Logan Hamilton, contact can be made. Logan Hamilton's trying to hold on, and he slides around. Luckily did not hit the wall, but the yellow waves. Oh my goodness.
Out. Logan Hamilton, one of the front runners. Strong car here tonight, gets caught up in that one. That's unfortunate.
Don't think there was contact made. I think a little bit of netcode might have set the 12, but Holden McGill gonna bounce off the wall, and looks like there's contact from that screen. We take a look outside. I mean, looking at Hamilton holding on, hoping no one else is gonna hit him, and stays off the inside wall and continues at his momentum. That's incredible to see. But here's the shot. Just netcode completely wiping out the 12 there. But luckily did not come up fully into the field. The field had plenty of time to recognize where the 12 was. And what a save from Logan Hamilton, able to hold on and save his car. But gosh, netcode hits, Chris. That's another factor of virtual racing that is something that you just cannot really be set up or prepared for.
No, you can't. In fact, that's exactly what I was just saying. When it's unfortunate when you get kicked out of the server for some reason. It just happens. Netcode is one of the other big ones. It's like in the iRacing world, it's just there, and you just never know when it's going to happen. I just got hit with netcode in the last couple of weeks, and it was a pretty big deal where I was running pretty strong, probably a top 3 finish, and it pretty much ended my day. So netcode is one of those things that just comes out and sucker punches you, and you just don't know when it's going to happen.
Drivers coming in, just topping off with fuel with the timing of this caution. It actually puts us inside of the window to be making it, I believe, to the end of the stage. So just topping off with fuel. Certain drivers certainly going to have to pick and choose if they want to take tires. I mean, we already saw from that of Jeremy Berger, him taking tires worked out great for the 97, but we were only green for about 6 laps there. So I don't think it's really the best time to take tires, or would there really be enough wear and tear after 6 laps?
You're probably going to see minimal fall off after about 6 laps, so I don't think these guys will take tires. I certainly myself wouldn't burn a set of tires after 6 laps. Save those tires. You're going to need them in the end when it matters more. The 91 of Watchorn remains your race leader. You got Butcher Benjamin. McGill still up there in 3rd. Berger made it up to 4th. He's sitting there in 4th with Stone, your top 5. These guys are running strong.
Driver that did decide to take tires, though, was going to be that of Nate Brooker back in 19th position. And looks like for Peterson, he luckily that caution came out, able to get at least 1 lap back for the 52. Now 3 laps down. Still a long race to go for that 52 team, but a little quick caution is going to help out. You also know if he can make sure he's the only car a lap down once our stage 2 comes around, could be finding himself only left 2 laps down, and we still haven't seen anyone be wrecked out of this race yet.
No, we haven't, but we just saw the 12 of Hamilton get involved in that, unfortunately. But this is one thing Grant Peterson can hope for, is that some of these guys that are in the top 10 have troubles, and that would certainly help him.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the field right now, for Grant Peterson, he did get stage points for stage 1, luckily. So he got a couple of points to be grabbed for himself, as he actually was going to finish out in 6th position, for 7th position. So just gained a few positions and points for himself. Still great to have, especially where he was 7th, he was 5th in points. So that's giving him a little bit more of a buffer to work with all the other drivers trying to hunt and take that place around. But this just shows, if you have one slip up during these 4 races in each round, it could be costly on putting you in a hole that could be setting you back. As for Stefan Purcell, Sean Deal, both those drivers, they're in a massive hole that might be too large for themselves to dig out of.
Yes, every single point in this point of the season matters. I take that to heart. I lost a playoff run by 2 points in the Truck Series, the Northwest Truck Series. 2 points. It was a heartbreaker. And not only that, I was like 0.2 of a second from winning my way into the playoffs. It was that close. So every point matters when it comes to the playoffs.
As you can see on our ticker, top 6, all Chevys. That manufacturing team certainly came out here tonight to make sure they were up front. And up front, speaking of one of the drivers I touched on that might be in too big of a hole to get out of, but certainly trying, Stefan Purcell up to 7th position. Going to be on the inside on the 4th row. So hoping to see that Nickelodeon's machine get a couple of more spots, try to get the best stage 2 finish. As for Stefan Purcell, 10th in points, over 30 points away from that cut line. Needs to try to figure out how to gain on to Logan Hamilton, who's that bubble driver coming into this race. Can have slip-ups like we just saw in the 12. Had a rough race last week. Needs to recover, but he'll be all the way back in 19th position. As the pace car pulls off, we race this thing, hoping we'll get to the end of stage 2. That's going to be at the end of lap 80. As green flag in the air, Merrick Watchhorn, Holden McGill, great launch for the 91 and the 21, as they're trying to figure out where to slice and dice as everyone else side by side for 4th on back.
Yes, the 91 of McGill through turns 1 and 2. You got the 1 of Butcher Benjamin sitting there in 3rd, and Berger right there up at the 4th. They're single file, too wide behind them. Some close action here. We got the, you said that Nickelodeon car is right there. It's working its way up, down and low. I'm not sure what the orange car is, but they're working their way to the front. Joseph there in 6th, Purcell in 7th. We got Deal, them 2 guys in the points there that need all the points they can get. They're now in the top 10, like you said, 6th and 8th, respectively. Looks like they're doing something right to work their way to the front.
Oh boy, drivers getting a little bit antsy on the inside, all the way in the back. Battling for 10th position is just a mess of drivers being led by this 19 of Brian Huntley Jr. Then you've got Frank Flores, and then also got the lapped car, 3 laps down. Grant Peterson trying to cut his way through this field. The driver I'm going to keep my eye out on is the 3 of Nate Brooker. He took 4 tires on that stop. But still, everywhere around, we could see drivers slicing and dicing, trying to pick and choose where they want to go. As the 3 of Nate Brooker able to make the pass on Flores as he moves on by. Drivers that we had to make sure that they could have a good run. Deal, Purcell, they're now falling back to 9th and 10th place. Springer now up to 8th. Getting dangerous up here, Chris, as we're seeing our top 5 pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, as they pull away, we do have some dangerous stuff going on in the back. Everybody's fighting for everything they can get. It's how it is out there on the track. Everybody wants to be up there leading this race. And you said the 3 has got 4 tires as he's working forward, and that's a Toyota. You know, you're just talking about Chevys up front. So maybe we'll see that 3, maybe the 19 battling close there with the 3. Maybe we'll see these Toyotas get up front and battle with the Chevys here soon.
Toyotas and Fords trying their best, but the Chevys just continue to stack up front. as now it's our front 7, all Chevys, all trying to pull away from the rest of the field the best that they can. As right now it's 6th on back. That is a mess of drivers being led by JJ Joseph. As Purcell ducking it real low for himself, thinking about the apron, but thinks other of it. At 57, gotta be careful, Steph Purcell. He is trying his best with the Nickelodeon's machine, currently in 10th place, needing these bonus points. But honestly, I think for the 57, he needs a top 5 finish here in stage 2. Get all those bonus points. They are absolutely essential for him to be making it to the championship round of the playoffs. As again, we're going to be cutting ourselves down from 10 down to 6 next week at Homestead. Drivers are certainly starting to feel that tension, and that's why we're seeing some of the guys that are around that bubble spot, with Jeremy Berger in stage 1 going with the 2-tire stop that got him the 10 bonus points of winning stage 1. Everyone else, they've got to figure out what strategy is going to give you the best bonus points to possibly get you into the next round.
Certainly, right now, the 91 of Watchhorn is getting it done. Gill following in second. The 57, yeah, got a little squirrely there. He held on to it. That's one of those things where you get those left side tires below the white line. It can upset the car drastically. Really, at Las Vegas, the only way you get away with that is pretty much on the front stretch. You try that in the corners, you can really upset the car. And but he saved it, kept it going, so hopefully he can finish out stage 2 strongly.
Yeah, and before this race started, there was an hour of practice. There was a practice session for the drivers to get some time used to the setup. And throughout the week, they've been trying to work on this setup for the drivers here tonight. And what was interesting for me to hear is about 15 minutes before qualifying started, some of the drivers started talking about the setup. They're like, this setup feels easy to drive and feels pretty balanced. Chris, when a car is feeling balanced, I mean, it must feel like you are on cloud 9 and you can make any move you really want.
Yeah, certainly. When a car is balanced, it's like you're not fighting the car. The car's doing what you want it to do. You can hit your marks. You can drive it the way you want to drive it. And because when you're fighting a car, it's just frustrating. And when you get frustrated, you start to lose that focus. You start to get impatient. You start to figure out, like, okay, what do I got to do to make this car better? And it's hard. It's hard when you're running a fixed car because there's so many. You're very limited on what you can do to make changes. You can't really make changes, as a matter of fact. So the setup, if it's balanced, it's good. If it's not, then you're kind of just trying to do what you can do to survive.
Oh no! Taylor Butcher Benjamin gets spun by JJ, and around they go. More cars collected. Deal involved. Oh no!
Wow, that was a big one. A hard hit there for Butcher Benjamin. It looks like the 6 was involved in that one as well.
Oh,
the 21.
Looks like Berger also got clipped, was able to hold on, but the hardest contact, especially between Springer and Butcher Benjamin. You're going to see the contact, JJ trying to get by the one, not able to, and Deal as well as Springer, just nowhere for them to go. Just innocent victims when cars are being spun around like that. We'll see the 21. This is Springer. It just instantly, you have zero reaction in that type of a moment. You're already picked your lane. You're kind of just a sitting victim at that point.
You absolutely are. When a car's spinning around, especially low on the track, you know for sure they're probably going to go up to the outside. That's where the G-forces pull you. You just get pulled to the outside wall, and you get stuck up in the upper lane like that. You just have nowhere to go, and you just get caught up into it. Looks like the 21, the first to hit the one of Butcher Benjamin. It looks like the 44 was involved too. Heavy damage on these cars. If these cars have a fast repair, then they're going to be in a lucky boat. But if they've used their fast repair, they're going to be hurting.
I believe all of them do have it, but once we have pit road come to a close, I don't know if we can have the replay. But luckily for Grant Peterson, this caution did come out, and he'll be putting himself now only 2 laps down for Peterson, and more drivers picking and choosing if they're going to be coming in pit road. If you're at this point, for that of Nate Brooker, he was cruising through the field up to 4th now for the 3, who took 4 tires under our first caution of stage 2, which was 7 laps into the stage. So he had a slight advantage over everyone else when he took 4 tires when everyone else went with just fuel. this could be a moment where we could see some of those drivers going for 4 tires or even 2 tires. And speaking of that, Sean Deal, a driver that had to use a fast repair, he took 4 tires. He's going to try to get as many points as possible for the driver that is 9th in points and 20 points out from trying to make it into the next round. It's very important for Sean Deal to get points, getting himself up front, as it looks like the 51 of Emerson, that of Arden's going to be getting a penalty for himself.
Watchorn remains your race leader. McGill second, Stone third, Brooker fourth, Purcell, one of those guys, like you said, fighting for points. 10th in points right now, sitting in the top 5. Can he hold on and get these valuable points he needs? You got Deal sitting back there in 14th. He's got some ground to make up.
I mean, looking at how Deal's going to make all of this work out, going to be back in 14th position, and lights still on, so we're going to have to do another lap. It's going to be less than 10 laps to go when we go green. Actually, I think it's going to be 10 exactly once we go green. This field, that they're feeling that pressure of those points. Chris, I mean, we are getting close. Actually, we're past halfway. How have you been enjoying the race so far?
It's certainly exciting. You know, it's always exciting to be able to watch a race from this perspective. I'm just used to being in the driver's seat behind the windshield and just like these guys, just fighting for everything I can get. But both the Northwest Cup Series and Truck Series that I run in, we do have that win and you're in feature in our leagues. And I've gotten a win in the Cup Series, so I'm locked in. I'm right there in points in the Truck Series, so I'm looking good. But like I said, it's definitely a good experience to see stuff from the outside like this. Good to watch.
Yeah, it's always interesting being able to look overhead on an incident and also being able to hear. And I know the broadcast, they don't hear the race chatter, but for me, I'm able to hear the race chatter and drivers bickering sometimes about an incident. And us up here, we could easily replay, see what happened, and get to make that call. It's always interesting how from that driver's seat, an incident could look one way, but from an outside point of view, it's completely different.
It certainly is, especially back in that incident that involved netcode. You know, those guys in the cars probably didn't even think it was netcode. They probably thought they hit each other. So without knowing what happened, I'm involved in that too. It's like, come on, you just hit me. Later on when you check it out, it's netcode. So it's a different perspective all the way around from inside the car to being outside the car.
Well, we are now in the 1 to go. Drivers trying to put themselves in the best positions so far, and we're 70 laps in. No DNF so far, but Grant Peterson did find himself being disconnected at the end of stage 1. That has put him now what was 4 laps, and with the 2 cautions we've had, now 2 laps down. And if we find ourselves with a couple of more, could be finding the 52 back on the lead lap. Luckily, we know for sure there will be a stage 2 caution where the 52 will get one of his laps back. But hoping to get it back a little bit sooner as the drivers are racing to the end of lap 80. That is when we will be having our stage 2 break. Top 10 at the end of that stage get bonus points, and you're hoping you're up front getting as many bonus points as possible. Merrick Watchorn, Holden McGill, Nate Brooker, Colin Stone, Brian Hunley Jr. A couple of these drivers we haven't really seen up front as the pace car is off. Green flag is out. And it's going to be Frank Flores having a tough start for himself on the outside, clogging up everyone as our front 6, they're already away.
Yes, the 23 of Flores has held up the field, including the 12 of Hamilton, who is just
they're 3, they're 4. They're
going 4 wide.
Coming at turn number 2. It's going to be up front. There we go. Flores.
Hamilton's into the 23. Wreck.
Oh, no. You knew they weren't going to be able to survive for very long. And with that wreck, with everyone so jam-packed, some of the drivers that have already used fast repairs are now going to have to deal with a lot of damage for the rest of this race. And 4 wide is just not the call.
No, it certainly isn't. Eventually, you're going to run out of track. Just doesn't work when you're 4 wide very well. Looks like the 21 got involved in this. The 6 again. Both of those, I believe, were just in the recent caution, so they picked up damage once again. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you saw the 98 as it just on the outside. You had Logan Hamilton and also of Frank Flores just side by side, and you touched on it. You're going to run out of space, and that's exactly what happened for those drivers. Ran out of space, collected, and with everyone being so close to one another, hard contacts for all of them. I know Sean Deal got a piece of that one. And he was a driver that already used the fast repair and also used got 4 fresh ones. So for the 44, as he's going to have to come in, get some repairs done. There's a lot of drivers coming into pit road as we're looking at the replay here for another time. I mean, what else could these drivers have done? I mean, we had Frank Flores have his back off, and then it just put all the drivers in this mix-up.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened with the 23 of Flores there. It's possible he missed a shift or was in the wrong gear on that restart, and it just choked up the field there. And, you know, these guys, when the green flag drops, they want to go. It's just, that means go, so they want to go. So it's just one of those things where a driver choked up the field, and then they just had to get things sorted out. But unfortunately, they ended up 4 wide, and 12 went to the outside and just made contact with the 23, and then we saw what happened after that.
Well, at the time of that caution, we're still going to be racing under stage 2, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be a mad dash on who's going to be in the top 10 when we go green once again. We'll be back in just a second.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. Tucson Sound Art, thank you so much for being our major sponsor here. If you want to get yourself a Sound Art soundboard that's Bluetooth, go to www.tucsonsoundart.com. You can post your own pictures, or you can also go through Tucson Sound Art's own gallery, pick a picture, and then you've got yourself your very own picture that's also a Bluetooth speaker to enhance your living space, and also might be surprising some of the people that come to your house. Where's that music coming from? It's coming from the Tucson Sound Art panel that you can get for yourself. Again, that's at the www.tucsonsoundart.com to get your own sound art. Also, want to give a shout out as we're getting ready to go green here. Look, we need to go and get some more drivers for this L-TAC Truck Series that's getting ready. If you want to be involved in the Truck Series, that is going to be racing from September 22nd to December 15th. Go hook up and message on iRacing to Nolan J. Rempel on iRacing. We want to get more truck drivers, and if you drive through the Truck Series, you get to race with these Cup drivers and challenge and say, hey, maybe you got a shot to beat out some of the guys that could be the champion of this season. Drivers getting set and ready to go. Chris, we're looking at what the lucky dog position's looking like. It was looking like Peterson was gonna be able to be the only driver 1 lap down. We now have Springer that has gotten himself back out there on track after a long time on pit road getting repairs done. It's gonna be interesting on if Peterson can get through and make sure he is that lucky dog position, as we're going to have ourselves 5 laps to go here in stage number 2. Watchhorn and also McGill ready for the green flag. We are green, and luckily everyone was able to get going smoothly as we head to turn 1.
Yeah, heading to turn 1. This is a 5-lap shootout to close out stage 2. You got Watchhorn and McGill up there battling 1 and 2. This is going to be a interesting finish to stage 2.
So in our top 10, we've got a couple of drivers that are not in the playoffs trying to stop, and honestly could be hurting a lot of the drivers that are trying to get some playoff points, bonus points for themselves here for the stage. As they are getting feisty up here for 7th position. You got Joseph, Kyle Green, 3 wide as they go through the tri-oval, heading into turn number 1. The battle for 10th place is going to be going to Jeremy Berger, but up front, Merrick Watchhorn, as well as Holden McGill and Colin Stone, all just staying in line, trying to work with one another as they continue to push forward. Then you've got that of Huntley and also Purcell side by side, trying to see who's going to be in the top 5. As you've got drivers with some fresh tires, and that's exactly what Kyle Green's trying to do. 3 wide, it's coming out of turn number 4. Kyle Green, he's got 2 fresh tires on the right side, trying to make it work. Joseph going to be following this 76. Again, there's still 3 wide, and it's Purcell dropping back from 6th back to 8th, and continuing to try to be careful as their bumpers are tapping off one another.
Purcell doing everything he can to get those much-needed, valuable points in the playoffs. He's sitting right there battling extremely hard for that position. He's fallen back to 8th right now as he continues to battle. The laps are winding down. He's outside of the 19 right now of Huntley. Purcell doing all he can. Meanwhile, we got Deal back there in the 15th. He's just not having a good run tonight. Maybe he can do it in stage 3, but the laps are winding down.
Rucker dropping back, contact for the 3. It looked like into the outside wall for himself as he got pinched up from Kyle Green. And now going to be seeing the 3 who had a possible chance of finishing in the top 3 for this stage. Now back to 14th place. A non-playoff driver is that of Nate Brooker. As now, looking at the drivers for the 10th place position, they are still on top of one another. Jeremy Berger, he's stuck in 11th. He won our stage 1, so he's got some bonus points, but he's got a lot of drivers hounding him down as we're on the last lap of stage number 2. Woo! Holden McGill, he's got to hold on. Kyle Green's getting aggressive for the 76, almost taking out the 21 as they're going through 3 and 4.
Yes, going to do 3 and 4, coming off turn 4. The 91 of Watchhorn, your number 2 point sitter right now, is going to take it to the finish line. You got Watchhorn, McGill, Green, Joseph, and Stone, your top 5.
Purcell, Brian Huntley, Logan Hamilton, Butcher Benjamin, and it looks like that of Barrick Uphold going to be your final of the top 10. Not getting bonus points, Jeremy Berger, as well as Sean Zeal, and also that of Grant Peterson, not getting bonus points for the drivers that are still in the playoffs. Woo! Changing things up, as it's going to be that of Merrick Watchhorn, top of the board for stage number 2, which this has been a great change for the 91. I was thinking about this before we went live to the broadcast. The 91 of Merrick Watchhorn has been the most dominant car at the start of the race, winning stage 1 almost every single time through this second round of the playoffs. He now has finally won at stage 2, and usually if you win stage 2, you're looking very comfortable going into the final stint of this race as drivers are racing to the pace car, getting set up. Chris, this is when things kind of change. You had yourself with a little bit of a 40-lap window for stage 1 and 2. We're now extending that here to the end. The drivers going to be having a bigger window to work with, 54 laps to race around here. Will we possibly see green flag pit stops? It's another question to throw out.
We shall see. I'm not sure what their fuel window is. They'd have to make a green flag pit stop if it stayed green or not, but it certainly is going to get exciting as stage 3 is about to commence here. The 91 looks like a clean car, and that's where you want to be, is out front. It's got a strong car there. McGill's close. He's got a strong car as well. He's come from deep in the field from the start. Some of these guys they're pushing for it. They're going to come in and get some tires and fuel and reset themselves and get ready for stage 3.
This driver's coming into pit road, get service done. We'll bring up Merrick Watchhorn once pit stops are finished. We'll talk to the 91 as things are getting set up. Nolan Rempel, again, if you want to be involved with their truck series that races in September to December, message that of Nolan J. Rempel on iRacing to get yourself information on how to join that truck series. But Nolan's keeping us on track of drivers that are around that bubble spot of 4th to 8th in points after stage 2. Looking like the gap is starting to get a little bit more expanded on where the drivers are at, who started outside of the top 6. That was Jeremy Berger. With the last of stage 1 and 2, Logan Hamilton finding himself outside of the top 6 in points. The 12's been looking quick, but he's got front end damage that I don't know if he has a fast repair to repair for.
The 52 of Grant Peterson, guess what, is back on the lead lap, it looks like. So he's come from a huge deficit from having issues with his internet there and getting disconnected from the server. He's come back, and that's kind of surprising, but that's what lucky dogs are good for, and free passes. So let's see what the 52 can do in this third stage.
Back on the lead lap, he looks quick as we are going to bring up our stage 2 winner, Merrick Watchhorn, up in the booth. Merrick, you've been doing a great job keeping that nose clean for the most part here tonight. Much better than last week. How are you feeling after winning stage 2?
Pretty good. Ready for more and trying to get out there and do well for the Twiggy and Badger Racing all together.
Merrick, I mean, being up front, we've been seeing how it has been very dicey in the middle of the pack. How important is it for you to continue to stay out up front?
Clean air is important, so we're just going to try and stay up front, stay out of trouble, and do the best I can, try to win this race, so we'll see what happens.
That's Merrick Watchhorn in the 91. Going to be winning stage 2 as we send him back to Badger Racing. For Merrick Watchhorn, I mean, quick statements. I think he's just trying to stay focused. Chris, it's now time for these drivers. It's all about who's going to get the win of this race, no longer who's going to win the stage.
So see, the 91 is a strong car right now, but I'm seeing the 44 of Deal out front leading this race right now. So apparently he probably didn't come down to get tires this one, so he's going to start this one stage 3 from the top spot.
Also going to be that of Emerson Arden, going to be staying out as well. So both two are front row, going to be drivers on older tires. And this is an interesting call for the both of them because I think they're just trying to stay up there for that track position, but it's kind of a very risky call to make sure that you're up front and hope that you don't spin those tires once you get going.
Certainly, I'd be concerned about that when that green flag drops, that the rear wheel spin, it's, wheel spin, and it could stack up the field and cause a big wreck, taking out a lot of these guys. I've seen it happen many, many, many times, so we'll have to see when these guys get the green flag if they're able to make those tires stick and get going.
Alrighty, a rundown. Sean Deal, Emerson Arden, as well as Merrick Watchhorn, Colin Stone, Holden McGill, Kyle Green, Stephen Purcell, Logan Hamilton, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Brian Huntley Jr., your top 10. Final of the drivers that are out here are going to be that of Eric Uphold, Jeremy Berger, Ryder Strauff, as well as Robert Pattengale, Kevin Franks and Frank Flores. Going to be 15th and 16th for the two of them. And then you got that of Grant Peterson, who got back on the lead lap. Nate Brooker and Joseph had to get some extra repairs done for both those machines. Only car one lap down, going to be that of Richard Springer. Excitement is now in the air. Las Vegas, race 2 of the round of 10 to find out who's going to be racing in the championship race. We will find out that answer next week at Homestead. But here tonight, drivers are hoping to get a win just to get that momentum. So when Homestead comes around, they've got a great shot, but they're already a little bit of wheel spin for the front two as they finally get back to green. Merrick Watchhorn on the inside, able to get by that of Arden pretty quick, trying to figure out how to get by Deal almost immediately into turn number 1.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of wheel spin there, but they were able to keep it going in the right direction. And you're going to see these new tires on these other cars. Watchhorn and the 91 to the outside. These new tires are going to eat up these guys on old tires for sure. These old tires are pretty old, to say the least. The 91 of Watchhorn to the outside right now. He's looking to take the lead.
Deal's coming up. Contact made for the lead. Deal bumping up with the wrecking behind. Oh no, sliding and coming across. It's going to be Strauff. Also, Jeremy Berger hard involved in this one.
Oh, and we talked a lot about the 97 of Berger. He was running strong and looking to get up there. He needs these points to stay alive in the playoffs.
looks like there could have been a start. They started out with Jeremy Berger getting himself out of sorts. And you're going to see Barrick Uphold on the inside. Just a little bit of waddling from the rear end. Berger trying to hold on, and Shroud to the wall and sliding directly back across. As that's an interesting one.
Yeah, the 97 in the middle lane there getting a little loose, and looks like he tried to overcorrect and save it, and just got into that car on the outside of him, and unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, over the radio, Jeremy Berger's trying to deliberate what exactly happened. It sounded like he was not expecting Uphold to force it down below him, which he then tried to overcorrect, come up, and Shroud had nowhere for himself, just on the outside. And I think for all the drivers where they're lying, we were hoping for us to stay a little bit cleaner there, but with I'm surprised to see Lucky Dog going to be going to Springer, who I thought for a second saw being going through the grass, which I thought that maybe would have given him a slight a no to his Lucky Dog position, but he's going to get it.
Well, if he gets the Lucky Dog, then if I'm not mistaken, that puts everybody in this field back on the lead lap.
And he does get it. So everyone, our whole entire 20 field car field, back on the lead lap. We have 0 DNFs, and wow.
Yeah, what more could you ask for stage 3? I'm impressed with the 52 for sure of Grant Peterson, falling, like I said earlier, back 4 laps and has made his way back up onto the lead lap, and currently sits 13th overall right now, with plenty of racing left to go. So he's looking to pounce on the front there.
You got to think of the mental fortitude for the 52 on that. I mean, going 4 laps down because of an internet issue, to then come back, mentally stay focused, understanding, hey, there could be a lot of cautions that come out. We're still in stage 2, and he's able to come back, finds himself on the lead lap for here stage 3, and now it's all about racing it to the end. I mean, that is a big kudos to the 52 of Grant Peterson for staying still on the track when he easily could have parked it for the day.
Certainly, a lot about racing is staying focused. Patience and focus are keys, and he certainly is showing that here tonight. Coming from that far down, it's frustrating. It can certainly be frustrating when the internet messes up, and he's rebounded nicely, and we'll see if he gets up there in the top 5.
As drivers getting stacked up and ready to go, Merrick Watchhorn going to be leading the way with Sean Dills to his outside, as well as Arden and Stone going to be in row number 2, with Holden McGill. Hamilton going to be in row number 3, and a credit to Logan Hamilton as well. A lot of front end damage for the 12, but he's still running strong. But Chris, with front end damage, these drivers have to think about engine temps, you would say?
Yes, of course. Anytime you get damage on that nose, you're going to have to watch your temps, because you get damage on that grill there. Temperatures can start climbing, and it can start climbing fast, and if that's the case, you're going to have to come down the pit road and get some repairs done. Or if you have your fast repair, you might just have to use it. You get those engines too hot and you blow it, then you're pretty much going to be a sitting duck and pretty much done. So temperatures are important. Front end damage is bad.
Yeah, do not want that front end damage. So we got clarification on the Richard Springer incident, on why he got the Lucky Dog, because there was nowhere else for him to go. He had to go through the grass. He was given the Lucky Dog spot in the wave around. So one of those incidences where, hey, you got to avoid the wreck somehow. And luckily he did, and we did not get involved with any other drivers. So that's why the 6 is back on the lead lap again, leaving us with all 20 drivers still on the lead lap, still with a shot at this thing. A couple of them have a couple of crinkles here or there, but we're expecting some good hard racing, as that outside line is a terrifying place to be when you've got 2 drivers on older tires and a driver with already front nose damage of Logan Hamilton. Our front 3 on the outside. That is a scary place for anyone else that's stuck on that high side.
That is for sure. And you got the 57 of Purcell right behind those 3 in front of him that you just mentioned. So I wonder what he's thinking sitting back there on this restart. Old tires, watch for that wheel spin. Hopefully we don't see another repeat from what we saw back when the 23 choked up the field a little bit.
We're hoping for the best as we're inching closer and closer to lap 100, as there are no more stage points to be grabbed. It's all about where you finish here. We're going Merrick Watchhorn, Sean Deal, going to be your front row. Wait for the pace car to drop down. Again, this is race 3 of 4 for the round of 10. We go to Homestead next week to see who's going to be moving on to our championship 6. Green flag in the air. Merrick Watchhorn already taking us off. And a great launch for the 91 with that of Colin Stone following right behind, as well as Holden McGill.
Watchhorn leads them into turn 1 and 2 there. Side by side, Deal falling back just a little bit. Side by side with the 51. Both those cars have older tires. Hamilton to the outside. They're all bunched up too wide down the backstretch as they go on the 3. It's going to get a little dicey here. Pretty exciting. Purcell right there down to the inside, right behind Butcher Benjamin. He's looking to move forward as he goes to the inside of Hamilton.
It's going to be Kyle Green to the inside, going to be forced to 3 wide, and so does the rest of the field. For Deal and Arden, is probably a worst case scenario. You got 2 drivers with old tires, going to force everyone else to have to go 3 wide to get by them as they're slicing and dicing, and it's going to be Grant Peterson going to be following behind that of Arden, and not sure where he wants to place himself, as these are the drivers all from 7th on back. Got to pick and choose where you want to go, as all the drivers behind Deal and Arden, they've got fresh tires. They just got to figure out how to be patient to get by the 44 and the 51.
Yes, patience is key. Don't push it too hard. Just pick your line and run with it. Try to fit yourself in when you can. It's too late in the race to cause a mistake or make a mistake. There's not enough laps in this race to make up for that. So just stay focused and you'll get there. Watchhorn still out front. McGill and Stone battling hard for second because they're too wide down the front stretch.
Throw in Kyle Green, just waiting for the 2 drivers. Stone going to be given a deke to the inside, finds the space side by side. Contact going to be made for the lead, as going to be Stone and Watchhorn able to hold strong, but here comes Green on the outside. A lot of momentum for the 76, but he's going to be boxed in, stuck on the high line, and he's going to possibly think about forcing it 3 wide, but Green staying low, going to stay in the draft, as Watchhorn continues to hold on the onslaught of drivers behind him, trying to figure out how to get by the 91.
The 91 maintains the lead, but he's doing a lot of rear mirror driving right now as he got the 76 of Green's, 43 of Stone, and the 21 of McGill close in pursuit. This is getting hot and heavy here. They're fighting for it. Oh, they're getting a little squirrely there. The 21. Oh, I thought they were going to bounce the wreck there, but they kept it going.
Kept themselves pointing in the right direction, and all now going to be getting single filed up. The drivers I'm baffled by is Deal and Arden are just being carried and pulled by the draft. Our top 9 all in this lead pack. Well, Joseph leading their second group about 1.2 seconds back, but somehow the 44 and the 51 are still mixing it up behind our leaders.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty impressive on older tires to be able to hang with these leaders like this. But this is probably a strategic thing for them, and they played their cards this way, and it's playing out well for them. So they're probably hoping for a caution here later in this run so they can come down and get fresh tires and fuel, and it resets themselves right up here in the top 10, especially for Deal. He's looking for these points and doing pretty good.
Doing pretty all right for themselves, trying to... Oh, no! Watchhorn got spun! Kyle Green spun Watchhorn! Hard contact with the 91! And, oh no!
The 91 goes up and over. Barrel rolls in the air.
Contact, more drivers, just not aware. And I don't know what's... people just need to open their eyes, maybe? I don't know what's going on.
That was the 3 of Brooker, I believe, that made contact with the 91 at the pit road entrance there.
It's just drivers not slowing down. Brooker thought he could go through a hole, and there wasn't one, as we're going to see the contact for the leaders. Green, he's been quick trying to figure out how to get by and wasn't able to. That was already contact from the 51 and the 91, and trying to get low, as we're going to watch on board exactly what happened to Watchhorn here. This is right when the incident, when he was hit for the lead into the wall, and Arden's going to come in. Hard contact, does a flip. Nice barrel roll for the 91, keeping on all 4, but that car is toasted. And he's going to come slicing across and just nowhere to go. where did Watchhorn think that was a good idea? Just, it doesn't make sense for he would be better to stay high and maybe slam on the brakes and let his car drift down, but obviously the engine was gone. It just doesn't make sense, Chris. It just doesn't make sense.
Nope. And these guys late in the race, they're all getting a little impatient, and stuff like this is the result of that.
Bunch of just late in the race. A lot of drivers feeling the frustration. And right now, drivers going to be resetting, getting ready to figure out what they want to do in this scenario. Will drivers, we've already seen a lot of drivers in the back coming in, getting some tires. Grant Peterson, Nate Brooker, both going to be getting 4 fresh ones. And Brooker looked like he did have a fast repair for the 3, so he'll be still out there. Joseph, 7% getting tires as well. And up front, our top 12, all going to be on some type of older tires than the rest of the field. Chris, this is going to be a very interesting last dash to the end of this thing, because I believe the drivers that pitted right now, they're still going to be about 5 laps short from making it once we go green.
That would be a little interesting. I was kind of curious to see if the 44 of Deal would come down and reset himself with fresh tires and fuel, try to make a dash for the end. Maybe not. Looks like he stayed out on the track. Like you said, they'd probably be a few laps short, so they're probably waiting. This caution came a little too soon than what he was probably hoping for.
It's just one of those things where now we get to see some drivers that felt comfortable coming into this race. Gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable going into next week. Merritt Watchhorn, he was second in points coming into this race. He had a pretty nice 29-point lead gap coming into this thing, but he's going to be back in 19th. Luckily, he won stage 2, so those are 10 bonus points that will go to the 91. But oh boy, drivers are now going to have to pick and choose how they're going to be cutting their way through traffic, because now we have Merritt Watchhorn 2 laps down. We saw Grant Peterson have his luck of cautions coming out and getting those laps back. We'll see if Merritt Watchhorn can get himself back on the lead lap. As up front, it's Kyle Green, Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, McGill, Taylor Butcher, Benjamin. Going to be your top 5 getting ready to go green here as pace car lights are off. Drama here for the playoffs. Drivers are certainly going to be roaring about this after this one is over. The Las Vegas isn't done just yet, as we've got ourselves 34 laps to go. Kyle Green going to give us the green flag on the outside. Interesting call. We've seen all the other leaders on the inside, but drivers backing off, cutting their way through. Watchhorn going to be forcing it 3 wide, as he's going to be trying to unlap himself the hard way.
Yes, and Green takes the lead through turns 1 and 2. He's on the backstretch. Hamilton following close. Got Stone and McGill there. I'm wondering if McGill can do something. He wasn't really showing the strength to get up there and take the lead away from the 91, but I'm wondering if he can get up there and do something with Green.
We're going to keep our eyes out on Watchhorn if he's going to get a penalty or not, based on how he restarted. He just threw his car, waited back, then got a massive launch to cut his way through the field. But up front, it's Logan Hamilton going to be diced up high. Drivers trying to find a little bit of space, but oh my goodness, they are side by side, 3 wide at times, 2 wide now. Kyle Green going to be ducking it low, and Stone was trying to follow suit, but stuck on the high side between himself and Butcher Benjamin. They're going to make a charge on the outside lane. Oh boy. Black flag going to be sent to the 91 for a restart violation where he laid back too far to get a massive launch. He'll have to come into pit road to get that black flag served. But he is stuck on the high line, and he's got to find space to come down. Hopefully he'll find that space. It's Kyle Green still up front, trying to win this race. He's the second non-playoff driver this round to come away and take a win from some of these playoff drivers. It's side by side, 3 wide for second place. Here comes that of Brian Huntley Jr. Huntley Jr. with a massive run.
Massive run down the front stretch as they lay it into turn 1. Oh, he gets into Stone just there slightly, but saves it, keeps it going inside of
Peterson.
3
wide, 3 rows deep, and they're going to survive. And Watchhorn has been told by race control he has to serve the penalty, but he's stuck in the high line. He's finding room. He's going to be slicing his way through, but they're still side by side from second on back.
Yeah, Watchorn, he's having a hard time getting down to the inside where he can get to pit road to serve that penalty. Looks like he's probably going to make pit road stop this time around. We should be seeing him come down to serve that penalty.
Yeah, he has just been notified. If he does not come down this time by, Watchorn will be disqualified from the race, which would be so detrimental for himself. Drivers are certainly outraged by some of these calls, but you know, it's one of those things where drivers are going to get penalized for making some of the poor moves. As wrecking going on, Watchorn once again contact wrecking and is removed from the race after that incident. Is Watchorn, and he collected so many other drivers. He took out Joseph. Oh, one of the other playoff drivers, the 20, involved in that mix-up. Oh, this is not getting. This is getting dirty.
It's getting bad. Lots of frustration, a lot of tempers out there. You know, that's a product of playoff racing. Sometimes a lot of frustration, a lot of tempers, and we're seeing it here on the track.
91 Watchorn, he's going to have to serve a penalty, but just comes slicing back up, getting into the 20 machine. And Joseph, he is now going to be heavily damaged, and I hope he's got a fast repair. We're going to have to wait and see if he does. As drivers now coming to the pit road, and, you know, the talks of drivers possibly, you know, being outside of the pit window, we are now exactly inside of it. So everyone is good to be coming in. Grant Peterson, as well as Frank Flores, going to be staying out for themselves. That is interesting to see. Frank Flores staying out as he's got major damage for the 23's front bumper, as the rest of the field comes in to try to get service done for themselves.
Yes, with this pit stop being within the limit where they can make it to the end, I'm sure this is, drivers are thinking this is it. But these cautions have been coming out. Cautions breed cautions. And as this race gets to the end, it seems to get more intense as these laps tick on by. So maybe some of these guys are maybe saving tires. Maybe they think another caution is going to come out here shortly, and then they're going to put tires on later on. So we'll have to see.
Oh, boy. Drivers trying to get a breather? We'll take a breather. We're going to step aside when we come back. We're going to see what concludes from playoff race number 3 of the round of 10. This is a lot of drama coming down, but we'll be right back here at Las Vegas.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Did they look at that stuff?
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. Drivers have been parked. Drivers have been put in their places, hopefully, as it was a lot of drama that just has gone down. Merrick Watchhorn has been disqualified after coming down in what looks to be a attack, not a wreck on purpose on that of Joseph. That was bringing out a yellow, and it's caused the 91 to be disqualified. But up front, it's going to be that of Grant Peterson, Nate Brooker, both drivers hoping to have good runs here. Peterson, he did not take 4 fresh tires here. The rest of the field, it did come into pit road. Nate Brooker and Robert Pattengill, those are the drivers that we came into pit road, got topped off, but did not take did not take tires, excuse me. It has been crazy here. We are green. Peterson, Brooker, Stone, and also Butcher Benjamin and Huntley Jr., your top 5 coming into turn number 1. Chris, it's been a wild one, but we are slowly and chipping away. 25 laps to go in this one.
Yes, the laps are ticking down, but Peterson in a 52 from 4 laps down to be out front leading this race is absolutely impressive. He's being challenged for the lead right now by the driver of Stone, who has taken the lead. The 19 to the inside, but 52, very impressive.
Very impressive for himself. They're going to be 3 wide. Logan Hamilton going to be shoved to the inside on the apron. Found enough space and time to get back onto the racing surface. Colin Stone going to be up to the lead, but drivers picking and choosing where they want to go. As that of Peterson, got to be careful. We saw a little bit of a blink for the 52. He doesn't want that to continue on. He already had internet issues for himself. But it's going to be that of Huntley Jr. What a surprise from the 19. Probably my biggest surprise so far. It's good to see the 19 strong up front. But Logan Hamilton trying to force it 3 wide to somehow get by, but he just can't get the nose there. He's got to be careful. We've already seen a lot of wrecks so far of drivers putting their noses just right underneath someone else and causing a little bit of calamity. The drivers behind. Colin Stone up front. Driver that was 8th in points. Needs a solid day here today. This is great to see from the 42. Peterson, he's up to 2nd, trying to make a late charge when at one point, in the middle of stage 2, he was 4 laps down, now up to 2nd.
Yeah, the 52 is going to be the story of the race. If he can literally go 4 laps down and come back to win this race, he's fighting hard. He's there in 2nd place, and he's holding it on those older tires, I believe. He's closing in on the lead right there. But laps are ticking down, and it's going to get exciting. It's getting dicey here at Las Vegas.
They certainly are. Ryder Strouf trying to get underneath the that of Jeremy Berger, able to do so. This is the battle currently for 7th place. And you've got also Purcell, Joseph, who had to use a fast repair after contact. But for the lead, drivers still on top of one another. Grant Peterson, he's on about 8 lap older tires than the rest of the field, but currently right now still holding strong for that 52 machine in 2nd.
Yeah, that fast repair for Joseph, he's thankful to have that. That allows him to stay alive in this race. Still running strong as he's battling right there for the 9th position. Purcell still in the top 10, still looking for points, and we got Deal sitting there in 11th, just outside the top 10. He's running out of time. He's got to start pushing it to get up there and get some points.
Get some points. 20 laps to go for these drivers here tonight. Now you got a long string of drivers trying to figure out where they want to pick and choose. As Nate Brooker, he is currently in 5th place. The 3 has looked quick here tonight. As we're looking on the back of Colin Stone to that of Peterson on the top side, watching the battles that are currently for that of 6th place, as well as 5th for Nate Brooker and Huntley Jr. So they're battling strong as here comes the 12. Logan Hamilton trying to get under Butcher Benjamin and luckily making it stick early on. Gotta love the fresh rubber when you can make these power moves on the inside.
Hamilton side by side with Butcher Benjamin. Hamilton didn't get the run off of turn 2 there. He got passed by Butcher Benjamin. They're side by side right now. They're 2 wide there. Looks like Hamilton's going to try to use that low line. He's dipping low. Side by side going start finish line, headed to turn 1. You got Stone still out front leading Peterson.
Colin Stone, Grant Peterson single filed up, and then you go back to third place. Logan Hamilton, Butcher Benjamin, they're side by side. Then Huntley Jr. and Strauff, they're side by side, battling for 5th position. And then you got Nate Brooker as well as Stefan Purcell. Purcell in 8th place. You'll love to see the 57 having a strong run late in this race. A driver that's 10th in points, over 30 points back from making it into the playoff race. He needs to hope that Colin Stone, some of these other drivers that are around the bubble spot, have a misfortune that comes around, because the 57 needs to get a win and gets a little bit of help for himself. As side by side for second now, here comes Taylor Butcher Benjamin underneath the 52 as they head into turn 3.
I think with the 1 of Butcher Benjamin and the 12 of Hamilton, once they broke that side by side action, they were able to close in a little bit on the 52. They're going 3. They're looking to go 3 wide. But they were able to close in on the 52, and all that battle for seconds becoming intense.
Colin Stone, what a day it would be for that team to get a win, get a little bit closer in the point standings. It would be massive, as you're seeing Logan Hamilton, fastest during practice, fastest during qualifying. He got that pole position, and he thought maybe he was going to dominate this race, got some front nose damage for the 12, and he has been certainly trying to rebound all race long. Now going to be up to 3rd place. Logan Hamilton, he's got to pick and choose and be patient here and hope that Colin Stone doesn't get too far away.
Exactly. Stone is liking the action behind him. The more these guys battle for position, the better it is for him as he can pull away while these guys fight for it behind him. They're starting to get single file here, so we'll see if that helps close in and make this more like a 5, 6, 7 car battle for the win.
See when they come across the line who are the fastest cars out here, because Joseph up to 9th place. He's starting to make a late charge, as well as Holden McGill. 9th and 10th position are for both those drivers, and they're looking like some of the fastest cars on track at some points as they are flying through the field. Watch out for the 20 and for the 21. They're on some of the fresher tires out here on the field, and also they had to use a faster pair to get themselves up front. As side by side is for 3rd place, it's going to be that of Brian Huntley Jr. and also Grant Peterson. Side by side, it's the 52 and the 19, as well as the 1 and the 57 behind them.
Yeah, this racing action up front is very, very close. Just think about it. The top 8 are literally 1 second off the lead. That is very close, literally less than a blink of an eye. That's how close these guys are running.
Oh no, we got a lap car, slow. Flores going to be clogging up the outside line, and it's going to be hurting that of Grant Peterson, who falls back, but the rest of the field, they will scatter around. Peterson frustrated from 4th position back to 9th, and that is, it's one of those things where when you've got everyone on the track, it's hard so contact, yellow flag waves. Deal involved as well.
Oh no, these two guys are guys needing points, and this is going to be extremely unfortunate. Not going to help them.
Oh my goodness. Trying to figure out where space could be for drivers, as we'll see on the replay, but Ryder Strauff and Purcell trying to race as hard and as aggressive as they could, but just could not survive. So we're going to see on board with 44, who just comes in late, and you see the contact already, and trying to stay low and uphold contact with the 44. And hello, how are you doing? Not so well, as both drivers slide to one another.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. You got the 2 cars, the 57 and the 44. Like I said, they're both fighting for points to stay alive in this playoff run, and unfortunately both got collected in this one.
Well, this now puts us in less than 10 laps to go, Chris. Tensions were already on a new level with 30 laps to go, and it's just going to climb higher and higher. Ryder Strauff and Purcell, as we're on board with Purcell, and you see Sean Deal sliding in, saying hello as they touch bumpers, and at that point, I think Sean Deal, he's already used a fast repair for the 44. Looking at the drivers coming into pit road, it's going to be a lot of them. Ryder Strauff going to be leading the charge of drivers to get fresh rubber. Speaking of fresh rubber, these drivers only had 4 sets of tires in pit road. And looking at some of the drivers and where we're at, we're seeing that of Grant Peterson leading a charge of drivers that from 9th on back all came into pit road. Our top 8, they're on older tires. But I don't know if staying out, if you had a set of tires I'd imagine you want to come in.
I would think so at this point in the race for sure. If the top 8 are on older tires, look who's sitting in 9th right now. The 52 of Grant Peterson comes down, gets fresh tires. Maybe this is what he needs to make that charge to the front and maybe get that win.
Trying to make a late charge. Some of the other drivers that are going to be doing their best to come forward. I mean, Grant Peterson looks to be one of the only playoff drivers that is going to be getting 4 fresh ones and back out there on the lead lap as Deal Purcell. They're both in pit road trying to get service done for themselves. Oh, this is, I mean, Chris, I think we both have a sensation here at this race. It might not be finishing under green with the amount of moves and aggression that we're going to have to see from these drivers if you want to get up front.
We'll see. I think it's going to get pretty aggressive here in the final laps. It's going to be pretty intense, and I don't think this is going to be the final caution. Cautions breed cautions, and as tense as this race has been, I think we're going to see another one.
It'll be less than 10 laps to go as we go to 9 laps to go now. When we go green, lights are still on. Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, Brian Huntley Jr., Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Joseph, Holden McGill, Jeremy Berger, Kyle Green. Those are the 8 drivers that have stayed out, did not come in to get fuel or tires. They're just going to stay out there. Grant Peterson, Nate Brooker. Those are the 2 drivers, 9th and 10th position, that are going to be trying to utilize the fresh rubber that they have, try to cut their way through this field, and they're going to be finding themselves with a 16 to 18 lap advantage over the drivers in front of them with these fresh rubber and tires. I saw back, during stage 2, when we had an early caution during stage 2, that of Nate Brooker only had 7 lap advantage, and he was cutting his way through traffic pretty easily. Now with adding an extra 10 laps on top of that, it's going to be pretty much looking like a breeze at times with how these drivers we're expecting to see cut their way through the field of the 52 and the 3. I'm a loss of words on how these drivers are going to survive. This is our 10th caution. 8 of them have been wrecks on track. 2 of them have been our stage breaks. And Chris, this race, if needed, we do have overtime attempts.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to get intense here in the closing laps. I think these guys up front that chose not to come down pit road, I think they're just trying to manage the track position that they have, and I think they've just made the bed they're sleeping in. So they're not going to come down at this point and give up that track position. So it looks like 52 and those guys that took tires have the advantage with fresh tires. And but they've got a handful of cars they got to work in and around to get up to the front, and they got to do it without getting involved in another wreck.
Going to be 7 laps to go when we go green as the pace car lights are off. Coming out of turn number 2, our drivers all set up, ready to go. Those that are on the lead lap, currently right now we've got 17. They're on track and on the lead lap as Deal is still trying to get repairs done for the 44. As we look at the field and where we're at, Frank Flores, who's running all the way back at 17th, did get the lucky dog position with his modified looking 23 machine, who he's had a up and down day for that 23 team. Still running, trying to get as many just running out here to finish out this race. For Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, Butcher Benjamin, our top 3. Massive points to be gained if you can win this race. Pace car is off. It's time for a 7-lap dash here at Las Vegas. Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, we are green, and they are side by side as they're heading into turn number 1, as well as drivers trying to pick and choose how they want to get aggressive here. Joseph already 3 wide as they go into turn number 1, battling it up to 4th already for the 20.
Oh, and they're wrecking. You got
McGill,
Green,
and much others, all scattering and coming to a whoa. Could not even make it through turns 1 and 2 as wreck comes out.
I think this was a product of Joseph taking that low line and trying to push his way through there. It looks like he got into the 19, which also got into the 21. And the 17, the 21, some of these other cars got involved.
Driver that going to keep an eye on it as I'm looking on myself. 52 somehow squeaked his way as well as the 3, but everyone else was about 12th on back, just not able to make it. And you saw there the contact from the 20 to the 19. And now drivers, with the amount of wrecks and cautions we've had, fast repairs are coming to not that many left here. As the drivers are open to do their best to survive, just hard contact. You saw there for Kyle Green on board with the 76. Just tapped and pushed all over the place. And nowhere really to go as they try to get reset here. Green's got a blown engine. McGill's just puttering along.
Well, if luck has been on your side, I think the 52 would have to agree that he's had some luck in this race, going 4 laps down, coming back and running as strong as he has been. He's up front and he's in shape right now after getting through that one to literally win this race. And if he does, that would probably be the rebound of his season.
And a driver that was somehow got back out on track, Sean Deal. He was heavily damaged and was trying to get himself back on the track. He was able to stay on the lead lap before they went green, and he was actually trying to catch up to the pack. They wrecked as he was trying to catch up to them, so he was not even involved in this thing. And because he was on the lead lap, once the caution waved, he's able to take all these positions of drivers that have to come into pit road and get service done for themselves. Oh, man. Reset, stack them, try them again as the drivers are waiting to see if we're going to be able to go green or if we'll be going into overtime for these drivers.
Well, taking a look at the point standings, Butcher Benjamin there in the one, that Mountain Dew Chevy, it looks like he's the only one in the top 6 in points without a win this season. I'm sure he's anxious and about getting that first win on the year, and maybe he can do it today at Las Vegas.
Yeah, and Colin Stone, another one of those drivers that's looking for his first win this season. So pressure on the drivers up front. I mean, they're feeling that chance of getting that glory finally in the playoffs. And what a time to get that momentum if you can get a win coming to the closing a couple of races in the round of 10 into the championship race after next week at Homestead. Homestead going to be the final race to cut us from 10 down to 6. And for those 6 drivers, once it gets to that championship round, only 3 races will be ran for that. So there's a lot of tension on how do you get yourself into the championship 6 for that championship shot.
Just a lot of hard racing. There's a lot of pressure on these guys to not make mistakes and just to do, just to race their race and hit their marks and just stay focused. The playoffs is not an easy task. And some drivers have better tracks, some drivers don't like some tracks, and it just depends on, the timing. I don't like tracks. Some tracks that we go to in my league it's tough, and some tracks I like, and each round is different. Some have good tracks, some have bad tracks, but you just got to hit your mark, stay patient, stay focused.
Well, as we're still waiting for the one to go marker, I'll ask you this, Chris. I mean, the championship 6, they're going to have 3 races that they're going to be challenging at. They go to Daytona, then they go to Iowa for 228 laps, then Darlington for 180 laps. Those are 3 very unknown racetracks that is going to certainly cause a lot of drama for championship 6. Again, it is not a win and you win the championship. It's all about the consistency for all those 3 racetracks once we get down to our final 6.
Yeah, when anybody goes to Daytona, it's a crapshoot. We always go there thinking, well, if you finish the race, you were lucky enough to finish the race. If you win the race, you're even luckier. So they're just going to have to go there, hit that 200+ mile an hour for 80 laps, and just whoever comes out on top comes out on top. But Daytona's a crapshoot. Iowa's a short track. I don't really like Iowa personally, but Darlington I've won at before. As far as the schedule looks, Darlington would be a fantastic way to end the season for me if it was me. But it's going to be an exciting round in order to crown a champion.
Those are your 3 races for the championship 6. Once we get there, that racing actual start August 13th. And for us to get there, we still have to finish out tonight's race and then go to Homestead next week for, again, Homestead 134 laps as we finish it out with a 1.5 mile course, where we dwindle it down from 10 down to 6. Pace car lights are off. It's not going to be Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, Joseph, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Brian Huntley Jr., your top 5. As we wait for the pace car to finally pull off, it's time to race. We are ready for racing. This is inside of regulation green-white checkered racing as Colin Stone gets us underway. If we get to the white flag, this race will conclude under green. If we get a yellow before the white flag, we're going to overtime. Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, they're trying to pull away as they coming at 2.
Butcher Benjamin, a hard right to the outside. He's on the outside, looking to the outside of Hamilton right now. We're going 4 wide into turn 3. We got Grant Peterson. We got Berger. They're all fighting for it. This is getting pretty intense as we're coming off turn 4 to take that white flag lap.
White flags in the air. We're making it. We're going to the end. As the drivers are continuing to race around. Grant Peterson, he's going to be back in 5th place. But our top 3, it's Colin Stone, Hamilton, as well as Butcher Benjamin trying to pull away. Here comes the 52 on the inside. Colin Stone as they're wrecking behind. Uphold. Also, Huntley Jr. going to be wrecking, but it's going to be front 2. Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, they're trying to pull away. Here comes Grant. He's going to try the outside into the wall as they start scattering across. It's Colin Stone getting the win for the 41. His first win of the season.
43 of Stone was able to hold off the charging pack to get that win. An impressive win for the 43. That is, in fact, his first win on the season. We were just talking about that. He's sitting 8th in points. This is definitely going to help him in the point standings. And nonetheless, will provide momentum moving forward. To congratulations to the 43.
Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, Joseph, your top 3. All 3 drivers, what stories they've had. Colin Stone just trying to get up front the fastest that he can. Logan Hamilton, he had front nose damage and recovered up into 2nd. Joseph, at one point, he got taken out and he was able to continue to run. His drivers coming into pit road. See there, Pattengale. But up front, our winner, Colin Stone for the 43.
All the drivers out there trying to get every spot they could get. You saw Grant Peterson in the 52 with those fresh tires, trying to push it for everything he had. Just got in the wall there, caused him to spin. Looks like he brings it home in 8th. Butcher Benjamin brought it home in 7th. This was an exciting race. It was an intense race. We had a little bit of everything in this one.
Oh, the unknowns were popping up for sure. As Colin Stone gets ready to burn it down here at Las Vegas, and what a season it's been for this 43 team. He's had to do practically so much work to get himself to this point. 8th in points. He had a great recovery race last week at Bristol. A great win here at Las Vegas. He's been trying to get himself digging himself out of the hole that he was put in after Rockingham, and he's done just that. As here's your final results, unofficial results, I should say. Colin Stone going to be getting 1st place. Logan Hamilton in 2nd. Joseph 3rd. Nate Brooker with those 4 fresh tires able to get up to 4th position, with Jeremy Berger into 5th. Robert Pattengale going to get 6th position with Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Grant Peterson going to get in 8th place. Kyle Green in 9th. 10th goes to Sean Deal, as that is your top 10. And looking at the rest of the standings here, Chris, I mean, what are some other drivers that you see of giving note to?
Well, we had some good strong runs. McGill started pretty much back in the pack, and he was able to get up there and run up front for a while. Watchhorn in the 91 was a strong runner for a lot of this race, and unfortunately we've got some issues going on with that. But overall, a great race. Peterson, even though an 8th place finish, I'd chalk that up as a good run for what he went through today. 4 laps down to come back and battle for the win and ultimately finish 8th is very impressive. But all in all, I'd say all these guys, strong run, strong race, exciting race. And I'm sure they're all ready to be done with Vegas and ready to move on to Homestead and finish out this round in the playoffs.
Stats will finish up here tonight. We're going to step aside. We'll be back to talk to our top 3 in just a few. That's Colin Stone, Logan Hamilton, and Joseph. We'll be right back.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. What a wild one it was here tonight at Las Vegas. Absolutely insane. Somehow Colin Stone finds himself up front, holds off that of Logan Hamilton, and Joseph a rebound for the 20 machine. We've got all three in the booth. We're going to start off with that of Joseph Squared. How was that race for you? You had to really rebound through all of that madness.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was pretty frustrating, the whole race in general, because the air is really difficult. Like, if someone chops your nose a little bit, it plows the dirty air on you, and you just, like, plow straight up the track. So my strategy, like, throughout the race was saving my tires early in, like, the run, and would, like, fall all the way back, and then I'd make my way through the field when everyone's tires burned off because of the dirty air. And that was, like, the strategy. But the race was overall interesting, to say the least. I'm glad to rebound to third, and yeah.
And Chris, you had a question for Joseph?
Oh, sure. Well, thankful for that fast repair there. That saved your race. So you got caught up in some stuff early on, but rebounded nicely. I guess, what do you think your biggest challenge was in this one?
Probably. Okay, I made a mistake really early in the race. I changed my steering ratio 16-1, and it did not help at all. So I was like really slow on the early run, so I lost all track position. So that was probably the worst thing, losing track position like on every restart.
Yeah, that would be something extremely frustrating. Joseph, you were one of the drivers that came in tonight with a decent bubble to work with, fourth in points coming in. How are you feeling going into Homestead, where we really don't know what we're going to see after what we got here tonight?
I'm not gonna lie, I really hate Homestead for some reason. I don't know, I just dislike the track on iRacing, but in real life it's great. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna suck really bad there. So I don't expect. Maybe I'll get a top 10, but yeah, not gonna be well. So it was really important for the first 3 races to do really well.
And you certainly did that. Well, Joseph, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Shout out my sponsors, Tucson Sound Art, Pit Stop TV. Shout out to the drivers. It was bumpy race, but I feel like throughout most of it, like we had a lot of intense, close racing. So it was a pretty good race.
Joseph in the 20, getting a third place finish. As we move over to Logan Hamilton, finishing second. Logan, you also kind of had to go through adversity. You had some front nose damage, but somehow you worked your way through it. Did you ever notice that you had the front end damage at all?
Yeah, I was working around it all night. I didn't want to take my fast repair too early because you never know with how the race went, but it ended up working out with that last yellow. I realized that I wasn't really going to be able to keep pace if I didn't, so picked that, and then it ended up going mostly green to the end, and it worked out.
And Chris, any questions you got?
Yeah, Logan, nice run there. I'm just going to ask the same question. What was your biggest challenge in this one tonight?
Probably fighting back after we got the pole at the beginning, and then led for a while and had the contact with Holden, and then trying to come back. I took right sides at the end, towards the end of the second stage, and was in the crash with Frank. So it was really just trying to battle back and not getting any more crashes, and saving tires definitely isn't my specialty, but yeah, it ended up working out in the end and came back for P2.
I mean, Logan, we were trying to keep track live of how the points were changing from the stage wins that everyone was getting the stage bonus points. Honestly, it was looking kind of scary for you. You were looking like you were going to be bounced out of the top 6. But with this great finish that you had here tonight, might be putting you back in the top 6. How is that pressure feeling for you, knowing going into Homestead, you're going to be probably that bubble driver that everyone's trying to get by?
Well, you'd obviously love to be 50 points above the cut line in first, then be 5 points above in sixth, but it's stuff that you got to work around, and I think I've never raced Homestead on the new update, so we'll have to see how that goes, but I think I've still got a good shot at making it. I've struggled through the playoffs so far, and I think this race will hopefully get me back on track.
Well, Logan, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
I want to shout out sponsor, Tucson Sound Art. I want to thank Steven Parrott for making my paint scheme, and just thank my teammates. Colin obviously got the win, so congrats to him. Kyle was running good, and Jeremy ended up getting 5th. So just thank them and everybody watching the race. I've also got AMC, my grandpa's company, on the deck lid. So, yeah.
That's Logan Hamilton in the 12, getting a second place finish here tonight at Las Vegas. As we now move to victory lane, Colin Stone. Colin, as we're seeing on screen, the chaos that was behind you in your mirror as you were coming across the line, how was it getting this win here tonight in a dramatic fashion?
It's hard to tell. Like, it's obviously very satisfying, but like when there's that many cautions late race, it didn't feel like that much of a challenge. When the caution came out with 20 to go, I was really hoping it was going to stay green, and I was actually upset when that came out. Obviously, that probably helped me secure the win, but I would rather have actual racing than yellow flag to yellow flag racing.
And Chris, any questions you got?
Sure. First of all, congratulations, Colin, on the win. What I got to ask is, we were talking about these guys in the playoffs with no wins this year, and you happen to put the win on the board. What does this momentum do for you moving forward as far as the playoffs go?
I would say it does something good, but it probably won't, because I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to make it next Friday. So if I can make it, it's great momentum. But if I can't, then that obviously kills it, and I'm out of the top 6. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say there.
I mean, still an awesome win to get under your belt. I know the playoffs going to be a big who knows going into next week. But we hope for the best for you if you do show up. And if you don't, everyone's crossing your fingers for you, Colin, as it was a great race here tonight to watch you win it. Going into, if you don't show up to next week, we still got 3 more races after that: Daytona, Iowa, then Darlington. Even if you're in the playoffs or not after next week, how are you feeling about those final 3 races?
I'm excited for those. Daytona, obviously, me and my team DSR, we work well together on plate racing. We showed that in Talladega. So I'm hoping that we have another similar kind of race that we did from Talladega and go green the whole time. It was a lot more fun, more strategy calling to do. And then, yeah, Darlington, that'll be interesting, to say the least. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the rest of the season.
Well, Colin, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Shout out to Tucson Sound Art, Tucson Solar Pros, the company I work for and that sponsors me. Yes, I was running a Tucson Doge Pros. I think that's my good luck car because I ran that in Talladega and here, and I almost won Talladega. So, yeah, that's about it. And also shout out to my teammates for Logan helping me get the win there, being a buddy, and then Jeremy moving back up to 5th. And then Kyle had a decent race, and then he got into some crap as well. So, but yeah.
Well, that's Colin Stone in the 43, getting the win here at Las Vegas. The Doge car gets it done. Congratulations, Colin. And if you do make it to next week, good luck. If you don't, good luck at Daytona.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, what a wild night it was. A lot of cautions came out, but at the end of the day, Colin Stone in the 43 getting the win.
Yeah, congratulations again to Colin Stone in the 43. Great point in the season to get a win. Hopefully he can make it next week to keep to carry that momentum forward and give himself a chance to get in the top 6 after Homestead next week. Certainly a great race. Lots of ups and downs for some drivers. Lots of excitement, and I'm sure Homestead ain't going to be nothing short of some more excitement.
We certainly are excited for it. Chris, thank you for being up in the booth with me, as it's almost always a revolving door of who else is going to be in the booth with me. But thanks for joining me here tonight.
Certainly appreciate the opportunity, and who knows, maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Well, I hope so. As for myself, Sam Dyer, for Chris White, and for Carlos Acosta for doing productions all night, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. It was Colin Stone in the 43 getting the win here at Las Vegas, but the round of 10 does not conclude until next week, Homestead, where we figure out when we go from 10 drivers to our final 6 that will battle for a championship. It is going to be a thrilling one next week. Hope to see you then. Have a great rest of your night.